One of my favourite things about winter is a wonderful variety of squashes that appear in our stores. The most common ones you're going to find in the grocery stores at the farmers market are these guys. Butternut squash and acorn squashes. These ones you'll find everywhere. A little less common, but they're still around, are two kinds of delicata squash. These round guys and these long sort of thin ones. They look a bit more like summer squash than winter ones, but these are great. These are very sweet and mealy, and they're really easy to bake. This one is a big favorite, and I'm going to come back to it in a minute. This is a spaghetti squash, and it's great for all you low-carb people out there because you can get kind of faux spaghetti. We've actually got one baked up, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And last but not least, and this is one of my big favorites, it's called kabocha or kalabasa. And this is really a fabulous soup squash. It's one of the ones that's got a very mealy texture and a really nutty taste. Now, squash in general is a really good source of magnesium and potassium. Squash also serves up vitamin C and beta carotene, two antioxidants that protect the cells from damage. And not only is squash nutritious, it's also versatile, as you're about to see. While it's delicious as a side dish, eaten on its own, it's a sweet, nutty flavor, adds itself to many dishes. Winter squash is actually a starch, so if you're thinking about your healthy plate, this needs to be in the same position as the grains. So go easy. Good as it is, you need to go easy. Anyway, keep watching to learn how to make the most of winter squash. I'm going to show you how to handle some of these winter wonderland vegetables. So this is the spaghetti squash. Now, I'm trying to find a really good way to do this. There's no good way to get into these things. You do need a sharp knife. Cooking, you need to be strong to cook. Okay, there you go. Oh, as you can see, this inside the squash, you've got all of these seeds in here, and these you want to take out. With squashes, it's a bonus that these seeds actually are really good just separated from see this part here? These are pumpkin seeds, and these you can literally put on a sheet in your oven and roast them with a little bit of sea salt, and you're going to have pepitas, or pumpkin seeds. But right now we don't want them for this. Okay. Now what I like to do with this is I'm going to just crisscross it just a little bit with a knife, and then put a little bit of olive oil on there. Rub it in and around. Now this you can just literally put on a baking sheet and put it in the oven and bake it for about, it depends on the thickness of the squash itself, but you can bake it at 375 for about 40 minutes. This is how they come out. Now you're going to find out why they're called spaghetti. I'm just going to get a fork and just pull them out. By the way, I always put parchment paper when I bake because it saves with the cleanup afterwards. You can see now why it's called spaghetti squash. Now this you can literally use in the same way that you would pasta. You can toss it with vegetables, you can toss it with a pasta sauce. We have a couple of great recipes on the site. We have a spaghetti squash gratin, which is one of my favorites. It's just tossed in quick tomato sauce. And we have a spaghetti squash primavera, and also a really great one, which is a fantastic fall salad, which is a spaghetti squash agrodolce, which is actually made with a sweet sour vinegar sauce with some cranberries. It's really fantastic. But there you go. The actual preparation, once you've managed to get into it, is really pretty straightforward.